She's here. Uh, she is connecting.
Hi!
Hey!
Friend, I'm in the car, okay? This is
It's
real
fine.
live, okay?
It doesn't get
This
any
is
better
this
than
is
this.
super live, okay?
I love it. I love
How
it.
are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm wonderful. I am not, first of all, I'm never out of the house. So this is so rare. Of all times that I had somebody to talk to, I actually have my best friend's birthday. And I was like, oh my God, of all the time, I'm never out the house.
It's all good.
And so
Thank
I tell my, I was like, I'm not gonna cancel on my friend, so we're gonna make this happen, okay? Even if I gotta talk to him from the car. So here
you.
I am.
I appreciate this so much. I do.
Thank
This is
you. No, I appreciate you for reaching out. Thank you so much for having me today.
it's a blessing. It's a blessing. Everyone, she is here. She is here. The R&B diva, the R&B legend. You know her. You know
Oh,
the
thank you.
voice, lead singer of 702. I mean, bomb songwriter. I mean, what more can we say?
Oh my God.
Her
Thank you. Listen to that
is,
introduction. You're so sweet. Thanks for all of
is
that. You must be from Baltimore. Are you in Baltimore right now?
yes, I am. Yes.
That
Yes.
you know that accent, baby.
You hear,
Listen.
boo? You hear? It's all up
I
in the
love it.
born and raised, honey. I can't get rid of it. Can't get rid of it. But
I
she is
love it. I was like, it's so distinct, like friend. Like there's nobody else on the planet that sounds like y'all. Okay.
okay. It's there. So first, okay, how are you? You know, we're going through so much right now in the world.
Mm,
It's
mm.
quarantine, of the pandemic, virtual learning, all of the above.
Oh gosh.
What managing through all of this right now?
So as I stated, I'm never, out of the house. I literally have really had to shift my entire lifestyle like the rest of us. My son is my number one priority. And we've been virtual homeschooling since March. They
Right,
had the summer off and then it started right back up in August. And so it's been very stressful. I'm not gonna even lie. It's been hard. There have been days where I emotionally have struggled. You know what I mean? Like, cause
right,
um, my son is autistic, so he's special needs. So it's not just your average kid, that you have at home that you have to homeschool, but like I have to, like, he's 11 in sixth grade, but I have to like really be
mm-hmm,
um very hands on with him and help
yeah,
him through everything. So I can't just like leave him and like, like most sixth graders, you could be like, all right, do your work.
right,
you know,
right,
but with my
right.
son, I have to like really be, very close by and help him through his day. And so it's been a lot. This is our first year in middle school. Like we fresh out of elementary. It was easy.
Right.
It was a cakewalk.
It is a change.
So it's like it's a little different. His
Yes,
days are from 9 to 4. Middle school kids go to school all daggone day.
it's a long
And
day.
so that's a long day, friend. So I'm like,
Yes,
So
it is.
that's been a lot, but I'm grateful that everybody's been outside of that. Everyone is healthy in my family and well, and so I'm grateful for that. Nobody's gotten sick or anything, so I thank God for our health and strength.
Yes. No, I get it. I'm
Yeah.
outside of this. I do work with the kids. I do work with some kids with special needs. So me as an educator,
Okay. Okay.
like, it's hard to give what I need through Zoom. I'm like, uh, it's
hmm
hard. It's
It's
hard.
hard for everybody. It is. I'm sure it's hard for the kids as well as
Yes.
adults. And I'm sure he's frustrated as well. I'm
Mhm.
I'm I'm kicking and screaming and cussing everybody out, and he probably like, listen, girl, if I could verbalize how I feel.
It's
Bless his little
hard.
heart, because he doesn't really understand what's going on. So I'm sure he feels a way too. But God is
As
good.
a gonna get through
It's
it.
been weird, but we pushing through. Right. A lot of 702 shows got canceled. A lot of Meelah appearances and things that I had lined up got canceled. My entire album that I had been working on since 2017 is finally finished, but I had to like completely like bring that to an abrupt halt before I can put the finishing touches on it, because everything just changed and shut down, and it was real in the field. So it's been
It's
quite and for everybody, it's been an adjustment.
Yes, yes, it has. So let's go through your journey, the Meelah journey, right?
Okay.
So
Yeah,
let's
Lord
talk.
has been one, honey.
I, as a fan, I get a little glimpse. I'm like, okay, I know this, I know that, but let's go all the way back before the 702 days.
Okay.
What inspired Meelah to sing? When did she know that she had a voice?
Oh wow. So that's so funny you asked me. I was talking to one of my closest friends yesterday. We were talking about um this very like prominent figure in Las Vegas, which is where I was born and raised.
Yes,
And we were just both talking about this particular individual and how prominent he is in the church world. And I was like, because of him, like I really learned and realized that I can sing. It didn't really hit me. And I was 7 years old, and he was our pianist at the time, our church pianist. And I'm like, I don't even know if I knew I could sing until he pointed me out and was like, "Girl, you lead in this song," and gave me a solo. And I was just like, "Me? Why me? Okay." And like from that moment on, I was just like, "Oh, okay. Well, I think I got a little something." And I really enjoyed it. I always loved singing, of course, as a little girl, but I don't think it really hit me that I really had a gift. You know what I'm saying? And so I started singing in the church choir when I was like 7. Got that first little solo around that age, and after that, like my mother just, once we realized it was something that I not only enjoyed, but that I actually was, kind of good at, she very much supported me and pushed me um, in every little thing in Vegas, like local fashion shows. And
yes.
honey, I was all that. Listen, I sang at the weddings, the funerals, the bar mitzvahs, the birthday.
He was out there. Like, I'm
Okay,
here.
the track
Hear me.
meets, the national anthem at the little local track meet. Listen, name it.
Yes.
My mother put me in it. She was like, "Girl, go do your thing." So I mean, shout out to my mom for definitely supporting me. And so she just had me in all the local talent shows, and from there, like I realized, okay, this is something I really think I am enjoying, and really, might be able to. I didn't know that I was gonna pursue it professionally,
Hmm.
but I just knew it was something that if it happened for me, I was always open to it. But I always was pretty academic as well, and so I knew that my parents wanted me to go to college, which didn't happen because 702 came first, which was a blessing. But I was like, if the singing thing works, it works. If not, it's cool. But I knew I really loved music, and I knew I really
Right.
appreciated a gift.
So, who were like your musical inspiration? Who were like, oh, I just love them. They are the voice. Like,
Growing up,
yes.
oh, too many to name, friend. Oh Lord.
Okay, so how about this? Right, give me your top five favorite female vocalists.
Well, my mom and dad had a very eclectic musical path. They had us listening to everything. Of course, my like I said, I grew up in the church, but my mom and dad like had us listening to jazz, like Al Jarreau and oh my God, of course Anita Baker, and my dad probably even had some Steely Dan up in there, and of course the greats like Whitney. I remember hearing her voice, and
Hmm.
I'm like, what is that?
Right.
What is that doing, honey? I love Johnny Hathaway and Layla. I used to sing a lot of Layla Hathaway in high school.
Okay.
Um, oh my goodness, I just love rich voices, and I learned that my voice had this unique vibrato. So when I heard Coco and when I heard Brandy, like in high school, I was like, oh, okay, it kind of reminds me of me. I think I kind of could connect the dots, and it made me feel very inspired. So for sure, they paved the way, and shortly after that, I don't know, I was recording an album after that, but
Right.
life
So,
happens, and
how
honestly,
old?
I had around me like for
Right.
sure.
So the transition. I know. So we all know that 702 was a sister group already
Hmm.
that was formed. How did you get into that group? I mean, yeah, into that group. How did that transition?
So they were already a group, like you just said, and we all went to performing arts high school in Vegas. And let's see, this was during, so they released this little gang with Subway. Subway
Right.
was a Biv 10, a Michael Bivins signed group as well, and 702 was featured on the song with Subway. This little gang we
Right.
played. So that song was out and doing its thing and circulating, and like we was off fanning out at the school, like, oh, we go to school with these famous girls. Like, oh my God, they on video. So I'm talking to them. Okay.
Yes.
And the next thing I know, Misha and I, we're like the same age, so we were in the same class, one of the same classes. I think it was like government. I don't even remember the class. It was social studies, something child. She came to me and was like, "Girl, we're having auditions. It was remixing the group," and I'm just like, "Wait, what?"
Right.
And so I found out Michael Bivins wanted to kind of like remix the group a little bit, and they were holding auditions. And she asked me and our then manager, their brother-in-law, um, heard and saw me sing at the school because remember it was a performing arts high school, so we have like these concerts, and he heard me and saw me and was like, I guess he told me, she was like, hey, ask the one girl to come down.
Right.
And I went, and then I had to go through. I mean, it didn't just happen overnight. I had to go through like this child. Look, I felt like I was in boot camp. I had to go through and make sure like I could harmonize with the girls and
Right.
lose weight and work out. And I mean, it was like,
Right.
child, they had to see if I could dance. I'm like, child, I ain't the strongest dancer, honey.
But I can do these riffs and
And
so I got you on that. Right.
then I had to fly to LA and audition for Michael Bivins so that he could, see the look. It was me actually and my friend Tiffany, the two of us auditioned together.
Okay.
I like and because at first remember 702 was a quartet, it was four girls.
Right.
So I auditioned, and then he just decided to just keep me and make it a trio.
So the tricky part of that, right? You get in the group, and so which is already formed group, and so once you joined, were you approached like, hey, we want you to be the lead singer, or did it kind of just naturally happen?
It kind of just happened by default, and that just brought on so many different feelings and emotions, and
Hmm.
because I wasn't the original lead singer, I was brought into the group, to my understanding, at the time to help with some leads, not to completely just take all the
Right.
leads. But I think once I started singing on the records, it just kind of the producers just kind of would, I don't know, put me on a verse, and then they would say, okay, well, let's try you on this verse, and then they would try you
Right.
on the bridge, and the next thing you know, it was just kind of like I ended up, on the whole song, just at
I
the
mean,
time.
well, listen, friend, you have a distinct voice like none other. You have, I mean, when we hear your voice, we know that's Meelah. Like we know, like it's you. So it
So
worked.
it happened the way it happened, and it was just like it worked. You know what I mean? And then
Right.
I was Missy, and then her vibe, and it just kind of was like a chemistry, and then we just kind of created this sound, and it just kind of it just became like
Just
the sound
naturally
that we
happened. So
and it was tricky some at times, but it worked out. Thankfully, y'all liked the record, honey, so that was all
we
that matters.
did. We did. Like you guys came out and you just blew up. It just happened. And, y- for me, I feel like not just you, but you guys as a group, as a whole, don't always get your just due. You guys have done a lot, especially for us 90s kids. I mean, you guys are forever a part of our childhood. You were a part of the Nickelodeon franchise.
Yes, yes, yes. There's a Skeeter, the theme song, and
Right.
like that.
I'm like, that's
Glow.
huge, before, because at that
Yeah,
time,
like Good Burger, like I mean, that was all I want was a part of our album, our first album. A Good Burger really wanted that song, and it became kind of
and
like
it just,
one of the
yeah,
main
those are like
things
big
for us.
things.
So
Good Burger, Cousin Skeeter, huge. Like, and especially with
every
Good,
song,
that's iconic.
yeah, those all the little kitty stuff, which is cool. It was cool.
As a kid, I loved it. I was like, yes, it's
And
about,
all happens so fast that you don't even really realize. I don't think until you get older and look back and you're like, wow, we really contributed to some really cool things and really part of the culture and like kind of have this legacy. And it's dope to even hear
yes,
now still like
yeah,
a lot of the new age artists
yeah,
sample songs, and you hear a lot of that on these records today. And I'll be listening to some millennium songs playing, and I'll hear my little runs in the back like chopped and screwed. We get it together, and I'll be like, oh, okay, that's me, hey girl.
but right. Listen, we're gonna get to
I mean, it makes
that.
me feel good. I love it. I love the fact that like, hey, all these years later, um, we can still contribute in some way.
So wait, friend, they're saying to turn our volume up. Is it me or is it Sheila? You guys can't hear.
Oh, don't tell me they can't hear me, child. I've been talking
That's
down.
perfect. Oh,
I
God.
just turned it up.
That's perfect.
Okay.
Perfect.
Okay.
All right. So
Sorry,
you got
viewers. I'm usually way more prepared and way more professional than this child, but you
it's
know,
listen,
life happened today.
it is. And we can always come back around at
Yes, I would love to. Yes, child. When I'm at the crib and I can sit in.
yeah.
Okay.
So listen, so you guys are out, you guys are doing your thing, you have Cousin Skeeter, that's popping off. The first album is hot. You have Stilo with Missy. You have Get It Together, which is written by Don Jones. So
Yes.
it's
Yes.
happening.
Yes. Yes.
It's happening. So
Mm-hmm.
at this point we're transitioning into the second album. And that's when it just pops. We have Where My Girls At. So I heard a little tidbit that originally that song was written for TLC.
Yes. Isn't that crazy? Yeah, we didn't even. I think we learned that like years later. I don't even think we knew that.
And they didn't
Yep.
want
Missy wrote it for TLC first, and I think they passed on it. And I mean, thankfully, I guess that was a blessing for us, blessing in disguise. It was definitely one of our, the biggest record, our biggest crossover record. So
huge.
yeah, it worked out. It
MTV
worked out. Yeah, I mean, that song is still like, it's so random. I'll hear it, just out of the blue on the radio all the time. Pop radio, R&B radio, like, they just played it like a couple summers ago. It ran for a Lima Rita promotion or something, and
Mhm.
I was like, okay, now.
Keep playing
Come
that
through,
song.
Queen.
Well, boy coming through. Yes.
Okay. I'll
I,
take it.
so those two albums are pretty much your first two albums are like your staples, pretty much. So
Yes, yeah. The third album, just kind of as great as it was, there was so many political things happening that we had no knowledge of, nor any control over. That I don't think had anything to do with us. It was just like some political, executive, and record label stuff.
but
And
it's
unfortunately, yeah, that third album came and went, child. It was
but it's so
released and she was done before she even hit the ground running. She was over.
but it's a dope album, friend. It's a dope album.
Thank you. Thank you. That's well, you know what? I will say this. Even though that record had no promotion or anything, for whatever reason, it still resonates because people got a chance to hear I Still Love You. You know what I mean? And that wasn't even a single, although it should have been or whatever, but that's a whole nother conversation. But the fact that that song did what it did on
It's
its own without any
fire.
promotion, without any video, like I'm grateful. You know what I mean? Because people love that record. And that wasn't even a single or nothing, but it listen, it kind of, I don't know how it hit y'all, how it reached y'all, but it reached y'all because people love that song.
Let me talk about that song in Baltimore. Okay, so we
Wow.
had back then. Well, it's still now, but not as much. The fashion shows, right? A lot of the high school fashion shows,
Mm.
colleges, and things, and of course we would do like little routines and stuff. And that
Yes.
was the go-to song to hit it on the run. I
Thank
still
you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. It's so funny, and it's funny because they told me I live in Atlanta now. Before I moved here, I lived in LA, and they was like, yeah, I Still Love You was like the song they played in the strip club all the time. I was like, really? I Still Love You? I can't even see it, but I was like, okay.
it's and
I said,
it's
yeah, not for the pole, child.
right. Listen, the beat along with the vocals,
Yeah.
and then
Thank
like
you.
Pharrell on
And
the back.
Pharrell and yes, yes,
It's,
yes, yes. I mean, listen, the record is it's genius. It's an incredible record. Pharrell is as we know, his ear is just incredible. It's like no other. And he did Star as well, but I think people don't really people didn't really understand it. You know what I mean? It's one of those Stars, one of those records that you get it or you don't. But I Still Love You is undeniable. And I mean, hey, it still goes, even though, like I said, it wasn't even an official single. People are still familiar with that song and sing along when we perform it. So I'm appreciative, man. It feels awesome.
so question, a little inside scoop, right? So
What's the feature?
so the T, you did a couple songs with Total back in the day.
I did, and I never have
How
heard
did,
them jump since then, honey. Can
how did
somebody find them for me? I need to call Keisha and say, girl, do you have access, child? I couldn't
How?
tell you how they sing. If you try to pay me $1 million to hum one right now, I don't even know how they sound anymore. But that was such a fun experience. I love Keisha and I love Pam and Kima. And they've always been super sweet to us and
Right.
always been like a big sister to me. So I definitely went and we started working together for a second. This was like within transition when 702 was child, just hanging in the wings, trying to figure it out.
Was this
And
Star?
this was before Star. Yep.
Okay.
Before that album. Yep. After the Woman Girls that album.
Okay.
And God, I don't even remember how many we did, but I definitely went in and we, was toying around with the idea of like working together. And it was really dope though, because they, Total just got so much swag. It was just
Swaggle.
like, golly, they just so dope. Like
So were you gonna be like
they just ooze. They drip, honey. They all.
rip
I'm like,
all the
back
way?
then, we were just clueless. We ain't have 702 child. We don't have nothing about no style back then. Woo!
So were you gonna
Okay.
be a member, or it was just like a feature type thing?
Well, it's funny because Puffy was they were going through transitions in their group at the time. And
Right.
I think they were trying to replace, I think it was Kima at the time. And so I had been working over at Daddy's house, like just doing like some writing and backgrounds, yada, yada, whatever. And yeah, Puffy just kind of knew that I was having some issues with 702. We kind of were going through some stuff. So he was just like, well, hey, look, it's an open spot over here.
Right. Right.
Like, so we just kind of was, just I was really trying to fill it out and find my way. No pun intended, finding my way. I don't know if you know that song. That's from the first album. But one of my favorite 702 songs. But yeah, it didn't happen, which probably was for the best. I definitely love, Total and like I said, all three of the ladies. But I'm kind of happy that it didn't happen only because I didn't want to be like the group hopper. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Kind of looked a little crazy. But
Right.
I don't know how that would have been received, but
Right.
yeah,
So on that
definitely that.
moment, right? Well, once 702 that you knew, like, okay, this is done. This part is we're just gonna go our ways respectfully. Ever have a moment where you were like, "Dag, like, what am I gonna do?" Because that is my kind of like my claim to fame thus far. Where you like, "Oh my God."
No, not at all. No, and not because I'm so better than them and I can do it without them. I think I had my run and I know what I went through
Mhm.
in the group and I know everything that I contributed and
Absolutely.
how hard it works. And so I always felt like, hey, if it's done, it's done. You know what I mean? It's over. If it's over, it's over. And I think I had made my peace with that because at that point I wanted peace. Because
Right.
it had come to a point where I just wasn't at peace with just everything that had just taken place over years. It was, we all had a hard time at some point, in the
Absolutely.
life for reasons. And no, I never felt like that at all. I felt free. I felt liberated. I felt like God will make a way, and I felt like, hey, at least now I can try and figure out who I am
Right.
as an individual. So
Hey, my
no.
friend, real quick, friend, fix your sound, real quick.
What is going on? Is
There,
my background, or maybe my hand is covering? I don't know.
there we go.
Because I
Right.
can hear you.
Okay.
Okay, sorry about that.
Oh, you're
So
fine.
yeah, no, I never had that feeling, but thankfully God is good, and I've been able to just stay afloat. And listen, times have definitely been hard, but I've always chosen my peace of mind, honey. Because
Absolutely.
okay,
Absolutely.
I ain't about to go nuts for nobody here.
But can we get to your songwriting skills, friend? Can
Oh,
we get into the song skills? Be- Because you have
can y'all see me?
yeah, we can see you, boo.
Okay, okay.
You have can people just think, oh, well, she's just a singer? No, you're a dope songwriter. You have contributed
Oh, thank
to
you.
one of the one of the dopest songs ever, Faith
Which
Evans.
one?
You
Which
wrote,
song? Because I've
well,
wrote a few with her.
yeah, so you wrote three for the Faithfully album, which is a classic R&B album. Okay, let's
Yes,
start there.
I
Um,
love them songs.
it's
Look at me.
you get No Love. Come on now,
Yes,
come
yes,
on.
yes, yes. I love that record. Listen, I'm not gonna take all the credit. It was probably 1,000 of us on that song that wrote, but
It's a good amount,
but
but your touch.
yes, I've wrote a little bit on there, and I did some backgrounds on there. I love
Right,
that record. I was definitely there from the beginning of the creative process when we just created it from scratch with um the producer, oh my God, who I love so much, from the West Side. West Side. I can't even think of my friend's name right now, but we was in LA and we was getting it in.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people
That's one of my favorite
know that.
songs.
Yeah, listen, it's a bop
It's
still.
a bop. It
It-
is. It's
it's
still a bop. You hear me? Listen,
I know it.
when I tell you, it's just like Stilo for me. Like Stilo to me is how many years old? Like 20. Okay. But
Yeah.
for whatever reason, that track does it for me. When that track it just still goes for me. It's just certain music that just it's just timeless.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. So I mean, you have definitely contributed a lot for
Yeah,
people.
I've written for lots of projects, some that have
Maybe,
never seen the light of day, but
but you got Macy Gray under your belt too.
yes, I wrote with Macy on some things. Of course, I write with music, and I always write. Soul Child, I've written some stuff with him. A lot of times I write stuff, and like I said, you guys never even hear it, or it's on artists that never have come out or whatever. But yeah, I've been writing for quite some time now, and you know, it's not. So I've never been one of those writers that because you got some writers that really love writing, and it's almost as much of their passion as it is with them singing or performing. And I've never really been that way. I'm kind of selfish with my writing because I don't write for a whole lot of other artists. I have, but I don't choose to do that often. I don't know. I just kind of, I don't know. I've always been kind of like just a intimate writer. Like I like to write for myself
Coins.
mostly. Even though I know that's where the coins are, honey. That's where the money is at for sure. That publishing is no joke.
Yes. You need to.
But
Is that? Yes. But I get it.
it,
I get it.
it's just such an intimate process. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? Like,
those are your babies.
yes, it's and I know how you know, I think it was SZA felt when she gave up a song to Rihanna, and I think Neo, gave up to the left to
Mm-hmm.
Beyonce, and I can't think of the
Mm-hmm.
name of that song. And I, oh my God, I can only imagine, but child, look, I bet you they listen. They said, well, child, let me take that check, but
Let's
but
not.
it's such a personal, intimate affair.
I get it. I get
Mm-hmm. But
it.
thank you for acknowledging that, and thank you for knowing those things, and thank you for doing your research and your homework. I appreciate that. Because
No,
not a
because
lot of people, not a
this.
lot of people know my contributions to a lot of things. I've written on a lot of projects. I've sang backgrounds on a lot of albums, and been a part of a lot of different things, and so musically. And so I appreciate you for calling that out, because I don't broadcast those things. Those are things I just, I move in silence and just, get my coin.
Oh, I feel like you deserve that. You
Thank
deserve
you.
it. You've done a lot. We all deserve a pat on the back. And besides that,
Thank you.
you know, I always root for the one that they're like, oh, just I'm like, no, no, baby. She sings and she writes. She's
Thank
not.
you.
Like you're.
It's okay, friend. I don't, I get that a lot from people. Like, they feel like maybe like, oh, do you ever feel like you're the underdog or underrated? And it's like, no, I don't look at myself that way. And if people sleep, let them sleep. I don't really care. I don't have anything to prove to anybody. You have your preference. You like who you like, and that's fine. If you think somebody can outsee me, that's fine, girl. If you think somebody can outrun me, I don't really care, because I
Right.
know how dope I am. I know how fly I am. You know what I mean? And so
Yeah.
it's like there's no competition.
And there it
It's
is.
just not. I never look at it like that. Because listen, like you said, when it's Meelah, you know my tone, girl. You know who I am. That's all it is to it. And if you don't, that's fine too. You learn.
Right. So I know that you and Missy just have a natural just connection. Like
Chemistry. Yes, that's my sister.
the
Yes.
chemistry
Crazy
is
self.
fire. The chemistry is fire. So a lot of people kind of got a little confused because we know that that's you singing on Takeaway,
Oh,
right?
it's two versions. Yes. The people get confused because it's two versions. It's my sister Tweet on one version, and I'm on I was on the original version, and then
Right.
Tweet is on the visual version.
So why is that? Why did that happen?
I think, well, I don't know. I think Missy, once Aaliyah passed, may she rest in peace,
Yeah.
Missy decided she wanted to do a video for it. And Tweet was always is Missy's artist. Well, was Missy's artist, was signed to Missy. So I think she wanted to put Tweet on the video version of it and dedicate that to Aaliyah.
Okay. Did you feel
Yeah.
any like dag? Like
No, not at all. Mm-mm.
okay.
No. Like we family. You know what I mean? And I don't even think I was around at the time. I was out of town. I don't know where I was at. I think honestly, I got a call, and I was actually, I think, at one of my grandparents. I feel like I was at my grandfather's funeral, I believe. And so, and they were about to shoot a whole video. I was not available, but they had already redone the song, which was totally fine. No, that's Missy's record. She can do what she wants to do with it.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, I started it with her, and at first it was just she and I, and then later she added Genuine. But I was just appreciative that she even, reached out to me and wanted me to do it with her, because people love that song, and I appreciate that. So I was just like, that's dope to be able to be like, oh, okay, I actually have a song, with Missy without 702, and it's just something that she and I did, and yeah, no, I ain't with no feelings at all. I'm Rouge, and plus Sweet's my girl. So. Look, now she would have went and got somebody that sounded a fool, and I would have been mad.
Like,
no, I wasn't mad at all. Sweet voice is, her throat is stupid, so
fire. I would love to hear you two on a song.
I know, we've been trying to work together forever. Tweet and I have done stuff, but we've never really finished it. She wrote a song for me years and years and years ago. Her pen is so ill. I always tell her, you've got to write for me, sis, because your pen is silly. So we're gonna do something eventually. We've been saying that forever.
We need it.
I know. That would be.
We need it.
So pretty. Oh, love it.
So also, because on Soulful Sundays, I like to get all the little background stories on things. You had worked with Kelly Rowland and Coco for
I did. Yep, I sure did. That song never came out. Oh my God, see, I be putting in so much work. Stuff don't be coming out. Yes, Coco is so sweet. That's another one of my big sisters. She reached out to me and to Kelly at the time and wanted us on a song for one of her solo projects. And we recorded a song back in the day in New York. Don't ask me what the name of what I can't remember any of these songs, but yes, the three of us did a song together. And I guess Coco ended up not using it. I can't remember. Well, clearly she didn't, because we can't find, where is it? We ain't heard it. But God, that was fun. That was so dope. I was so excited about that, y'all. I was so geeked.
Because, it's like you have three girls from huge groups.
Yes. Oh, that was so awesome.
I
have a picture, though. I found a picture one day, and I was ecstatic about that, because I didn't even know I had a picture. So I got a picture from that session from that day. And I'll always hold that close. At least I got that. I don't know what a song is, but.
All three of you have very distinct voices. So I would have loved to hear how that blend would have.
Listen, I know. Child, they be playing with my emotions. They call me up. I get excited, and then I don't know what happens. Songs just disappear. I don't know. But yes, I forgot about that. You better be doing your research. Thank you, friend.
Period.
That was a fun session. Yes.
Yeah, see, those things I would have loved to listen. Coco had just wished me happy birthday a couple of days ago.
Okay. Happy belated, right? My best friend gonna kill me. That's actually what I was saying. Her birthday. You said a lot of y'all's birthday. So are you a Scorpio too, or you?
I'm a Libra.
Okay.
So I just turned 30. Yeah.
Oh, child. 30. You baby, you. Okay. Congratulations. Happy birthday.
Thank you, boo. So my fiance had surprised me and had her sing happy birthday and sing Rain for me and did this whole post. Okay. So I'm a DM her and be like, hey, I talked to my friend Meelah and I think I got songs together, and you
listen, where is it?
You need to link them bad boys, because we deserve.
Okay. God, I love Coco. She's the truth. She is the truth.
Dope. Cool. So we went through most of the journey for the most part. There was a moment where you went to R&B Divas Atlanta. How was that for you, and how did that kind of come about? Because I know that you worked with Faith, and she's one of the EPs and creators of it. So did she approach you?
No, she did not. I was actually managed by Corey Taylor at the time, who was also managing SWV at the time, and he actually suggested it, and I was kind of like, I don't know, because I had just had my son, and I was like a new mom to a son who had just gotten diagnosed with autism, and I wasn't sure. They wanted me to share that, and I wasn't sure I was ready to share that, and I just had a lot of I was just reluctant to do reality TV.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm glad. I mean, I'm glad I ended up doing it, at least just to become a voice for other special needs parents. So no, yeah, Corey Taylor suggested it, and then by the time I got there, which was season 3, it was just me and Latavia from Destiny's Child. We went on together, and it was Selena was still there, Kiki White was still there, Angie Stone was still there, and Monifa, just them
Yes.
of the original. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yep. So it was fun, and they were all a Kiki and a hoot, child. Everybody.
That was a hoot. I was like,
Baby, I said, Lord, it was a good time though. I was you know, I was excited, I think, to just be out of the house and back out on the scene, because I had really just been a stay-at-home mom for like the past 2 or 3 years. My son was like a toddler,
okay,
and I was just excited to be out of the house, honey, and working. Okay, because I was just like, oh, child, yeah, I've learned that I am not the stay-at-home mom type. She definitely needs to have her own life. I need balance.
right.
So I was excited to do that. It was really cool. I didn't know what to expect, but it was, you know, it was interesting. Would I do reality again? I don't know. Maybe I'll get offers all the time, but I'm not sure. Got to be the right show. Got to make sense.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
Would you do a show?
These days it's a mess, honey. These days y'all just want to see us acting a fool, and I just
don't, friend. I don't like it. I don't like it, friend.
It's too much.
Oh, so you know how they had Ladies Night on BET? It was Salt and Pepper and SWV, or whatever.
I forgot about that. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Would you do a show like that where it's like girl group kind of on the show, kind of a little bit?
I've gotten some calls, friend. You know, I wouldn't be opposed to it.
It's got to be.
I think depending on the premise of the show, maybe.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, maybe. I don't know. You know, I'm at the point now. I'm in my 40s, and I am really wanting to do intentional projects only. You know what I mean? And I really want to be a part of something that is relatable, respectable, and you know, good quality TV. I know that sounds like a snooze fest because we all want to see foolery, but but you know, I don't want to be a part of anything that I'm going to be embarrassed about. That I may be in a situation where I'm tested and possibly end up having to do jail time. I have a child.
Amen.
You know, I don't want to be put in compromised positions or situations for ratings. I'm not into that.
Right.
And so I would have to really, I don't know. I'd have to, at this point, I feel like I would want to create my own content, you know, so that I can have more than just a cast credit and actually have some type of EP or some type of executive or creator or something credit, so that I can be somewhat involved with editing, you know,
right?
Possibly, because child is a hot mess and it could just go left, and I don't have time.
We don't need that across our screen, Meelah, and not somebody across. We don't need that.
No, and don't get me wrong, like I'm not even professing to be tough and like, you know,
right.
Gangsta bully, nothing like that. We know how stuff can go left real fast, you know, and it's just like I don't have to look. It's just it's as we can see from how reality shows have just turned certain people's lives, like it could just really be a lot. It can go great or it can go left, and it can, you know, it can help you build a brand and an empire, or you can lose your mind. It's just a lot, and I just, you know, I really take those things into consideration because it's not a game.
Absolutely. So we know that you are now a solo artist.
Yes.
A solo artist, and we are waiting for this album.
Or at least an EP or something.
EP.
Thank you.
You've been featuring singles, and they've been dope singles. I love the one with you and me.
Just throwing out, just those have just been little, you know,
little tidbits.
So just to see what y'all like, what y'all bite to, what y'all, you know, what sticks, what doesn't.
Right.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I cut you off. You love what brand? Which one you love?
The one with you in music.
Thank you. I love that too. It's a beautiful record. Thank you. We wrote that
one. Is dope.
A few years ago, and it just came so naturally with ease, and it actually was an EP, and I was like, I got nervous. It was like, oh, I don't know if I like it. I'm such an overthinker. I overanalyze, and I'm such a perfectionist. So I was just like, no, I can't put it out. I don't know, tripping. But that right there, I said, but this is special. This one got to come out. This is special. Yeah. So we just put that one out as a single.
It's a beautiful.
Yeah. Thank you.
Do you what artist that's out today, or man, if it don't have to be a current or past, what artist would you love to work with?
Oh, so many, friend. Gosh. So I love I love a lot of the young artists that are out today. I try to listen to a little bit of everything, but I will say I am stuck in, what, my era. You know what I mean? But I do appreciate I do appreciate the Chloe and Haley's. They're so adorable. And like
Yeah.
they're young, but their musicality is sickening. Their ear, like they have such voice control, and I think they're so dope. I love independent artists who have, been grinding and have really finally made their way, like Luke James. I think he's incredible. I love his voice. I would love to work with I would love to have. Listen, I'll do a little feature or have somebody feature like a child. I'll do a little Megan or somebody. Listen,
That would be hot.
I mean, listen. I'm a little old fashioned. I ain't gonna lie. I be listening to them lyrics like, oh, child, they be going for it these days. What? Look. But I ain't listen. But I ain't no prude, honey. So I would love to work with some of these up and coming artists who are from the younger generation, Gen Z. But I gotta stay true to my era though. So I would love to work with people like freaking. I used to get this question all the time, and back in the day, I used to be like, "Oh, Will I Am," and
I see that.
Black Eyed Peas. Like I love. Oh my God, love, love,
I
love.
see that.
So sickening. I used to say, who else was I always talking about? John Mayer. I used to always talk about John Mayer. I live for my John Mayer. I think that I think Miguel is dope. I just like.
I'm a Meelah duet. Woo!
Yes. He's so different to me. I like unique voices, and I like different sounds, and I like to experiment and do different things too. I listen to a lot of artists that are out of the UK as well, and there's a girl that people was like, oh, her tone reminds me of yours. I think she pronounced it Nao. I'm not sure. I think it's like Nao. She's super dope. I would love to work with her. Guys, who else? Tori Kelly is sickening. I mean, I like a lot of these young girls that have come out now that are singing for their lives, like, that really get it and really understand that, singing is a gift. And I love when people, you can tell that they're serious about it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Of course, the Jasmine Sullivans and Child with her sickening throat. She writes. I would love to work with her.
Dope.
And I can go on and on and on. I mean, like, I'm open to really work with anybody who want to work with me, honey.
Right.
There's so much talent out there these days, and it's really impressive to watch. It's different than when we were coming up. Now. You don't have to sing the hook every time, child. You can press a button and they can fly it. You ain't have to.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
You don't have to. Now they can put stuff in your voice to make you sound like just perfect. So it'd be interesting to work with like artists who, that use like that. What is it now? I think they use like the auto tune on the melody, and it's a unique sound. Like, I mean, I use it too in my projects now because now it's like the it thing. I used to be like, I want to name And now I'm like, yes, honey, put it on thick.
So listen.
It's a sound.
Listen, have you been watching Verzus?
I tune in sometimes. I'm not gonna lie, I don't watch it all the time. I haven't seen a lot of them, but I did see, of course, Brandy and Monica. I saw some of Miss Patty and Miss Gladys because mine just cut out all of a sudden, and then I was in the middle of dinner time with my son, honey, and I couldn't tune back in. I said, "Child, we got to go to school in the morning. I got to do bath and go to bed."
Right.
So,
right.
So I missed half of Miss Tina and Miss Gladys, but I mean, I keep saying Miss Tina, Lord. Sorry, Miss Patty and Miss Gladys.
Yeah.
But I saw, who else did I see? I saw I didn't see Teddy Riley in them. I missed that one.
Oh.
I know everybody says that.
Made my head hurt, child. I was like,
no, wasn't that terrible? Oh no, it happens. It's hard.
It is hard.
Technology. It is hard. Yeah, but I think it was smart though for Brandy and Monica to do it together, so you won't have the Wi-Fi issues.
Now that's how they've been doing it. They're always together now.
Sense. Totally makes sense now.
So
but I think that's incredible that Swiss and Tim like creating that platform. That's so dope.
So right now, everyone. Well, ever since it started, people have been putting their thoughts of who should go who, and
put in their requests.
Yes, and we've been screaming for a girl group one. We've heard
I know, I've been hearing
SWB. So if 702 had got asked to do a Versus, who would you like or feel like it would be a nice matchup, or not, because not it's not because it's not a competition. It's really a celebration. But who do you think would be a
But
nice?
of course, the masses make it a competition, child.
I know.
But I'm like,
Who do you
you
think?
know, well, I get that.
It?
I've gotten that question a lot, of course, and it was hard because I was basing it on who came out around the same time, which was '96. I was basing it on catalog, like, you know, and I was thinking SWV, TLC, and Escape were already out, so I was trying to figure out, well, who was out when 702 was out, which would have been like, I think I said like maybe 3LW and Black, and then that didn't work because I think they came out a little after us. So then
I got the group for you,
oh
friend.
no, this is crazy. So I couldn't figure it out. Talked to my sister Missy, and she was like, 702 and Total should do one. And I was like, what, girl? I
Yeah,
was like,
yeah.
duh. I was like, didn't even think of that. So yeah, that would be cute. But
I
you know, you gotta put it out there. You know, the fans gotta want it. So, you know.
We want it. We want to see it. I think that would be a dope version, because this is like swag
We
versus.
love them. We love them so much. And they've always been, like I said, big sisters and mad cool. So it would be nothing but love for sure.
You want to see. You want to see love, and we
Yeah.
we love you. We
Thank you.
you also
Thank you so much. Right. Let me go for my
have
best friend and be like, oh, girl, it's over. Look.
right. So I appreciate you. Please tell everyone where they can follow you.
Thank you so
What you
much.
coming out. Please follow her. It's let them know, friend. Let them
I
know.
will. So, right. I will. Look, I will.